Hey everybody, welcome to Bearded Baker Banter, the sports podcast. And we got NFL playoffs divisional rounds this week, boys. Welcome Trent, welcome Trey.
How's it going, fellas? Good to be back this week.
Hi, everybody. Tyler, I'm glad you clarified that title of what round it is. As a Raiders fan, I'm kind of unfamiliar with this point in the postseason. So, heck, postseason in general, I'm not used to it.
Did they add super in front of this yet? Super divisional round?
No, they might though. A couple years. Give it a couple years.
Like outstanding divisional round.
Yeah.
Something wild.
Fantastic divisional round.
That's good. Yeah. Any more synonyms?
Thanks. I'm trying to think of a D word, but
whoa.
Yeah.
That one's coming to mind. For divisional, get the alliteration. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Yeah, but super wild card weekend isn't alliteration.
Yeah, but I just think like a D alliteration would be catchy for divisional.
Right.
You know
so
what
maybe
I mean?
super duper divisional weekend.
Ooh, wow! All right, I like that actually. I like that a lot.
We're marketing it. All right, now let's get into some stuff here, guys. We got a lot of games to talk about from last week, so we'd like to touch on a little bit and recap some of the super wild card weekend, which was super full of points in a lot of the games, to be honest with you. I did find it kind of interesting that I felt like, and I don't have any stats on this, but I did feel like unders hit a lot this year in football, NFL, and I felt like the overs got slaughtered this past weekend. There was a lot of blowouts. There really wasn't a whole lot of tight games, to be honest with you, which I'd say surprised me a little bit. But any thoughts? You guys want to go game to game here, and we'll just kind of give some input?
Yeah, I mean, Tyler, you were kind of right though when you said, I mean, these super wildcard weekend games have a tradition of being blowouts. Only not since of the 4 years they've expanded the playoff. Only 9 games have been decided by one score or less.
Wow,
that's pretty crazy if you think about it. It's a playoff game, and what, a quarter of them are only within a touchdown or less. Like that's crazy.
Right. But yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, it was definitely a lot of blowouts. We'll start up with the Texans and the Browns game, which, interestingly enough, I know I said on the podcast I had picked the Browns, and I also picked the Browns on our board, but in our actual pick'em thing, I did pick the Texans, interestingly enough. But I mean,
convenient.
Funny. I did not see the Browns getting blown.
Trey, we convinced them via last week's episode. You know,
probably.
You know, we told them why it was going to happen. You know, Flacco throwing picks. Matter of fact, two pick sixes.
Yeah, Trey did say that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the viral video going around of D'Amico Ryans literally telling that linebacker. He goes, "Hey, if you sit right here, eyes on the quarterback, you know, follow his eyes out into the flats or wherever his receiver's going in the slot, and boom, pick six." It was almost like D'Amico shared the script with him. You know, like it was pretty remarkable. But you know what? I wasn't surprised. I think. I'll tell you what, I think what was cool about that playoff matchup, I think, it was basically, hey, winner gets coach of the year.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I can see that.
And I think, although, I mean, Stefanski worked some miracles out. I mean, you're finishing the year with what, like your third or fourth quarterback, and it's a guy that is coming from being, you know, the carpool dad for his kids going to school. So, you know, congrats to him, respect to him. But, yeah, I mean, Texans are huge winners right now. Like, they're making, you know, one, they're still in the playoffs. Two, they went from worst to first in that division, I believe. And, you know, day by day goes by, and it seems like, hey, good job. You got rid of Deshaun Watson, who's a little tainted, no pun intended. But
I'm glad you said that because I was hoping you did it.
But to each his own. But yeah, I mean the load of draft picks that they got from that trade and the talent that they have right now, the Texans might be a force to reckon with in the near future, like for a long time, because it looks like they got their franchise guy, you know, and I feel like that's always been kind of the missing piece for them down there. Is granted, Deshaun Watson had a year or two where it was like, wow, he's really good, but I don't know. I hope it works out for them.
Yeah, and I think Trent, you mentioned the Texans being a threat for the next couple of years. I think the AFC South as a whole looks pretty scary up and coming here. I mean, if Anthony Richardson comes back healthy and is able to play like he did before he got hurt, you add the Colts into that mix. The only question mark is the Titans and where they're where they're heading. But the Jags are already kind of established, even though they melted down. But yeah, I mean, the Texans got a bright future with C.J. Stroud and that head coach D'Amico Ryans. They looked impressive. They looked way more disciplined and just motivated than the Browns did. And I don't know if it's just because of the long season and everything the Browns have been through, but it was fun to watch and how exciting the young Texans look.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, they also improved their defense too in the draft this past year.
So Anderson.
I mean, it obviously paid off with, people are like, oh my gosh, can you believe they're making this move, double picks and everything else. I think, the biggest steal, not even steal because he was projected, but C.J. Stroud working out the way that he worked out and the way that he carries himself on and off the field, I think that is the X factor.
Right. There's talks of him saying that he might have had the greatest rookie season ever for a quarterback.
He's up there in tops in terms of numbers.
Right.
So yeah, I could see that, but yeah, congrats to the Texans, man. That was pretty cool to see. I mean, you're almost. I'm not saying you're going. Were they worse last year?
They were the worst in their division.
Okay, but I mean, their record.
I think they were pretty close to worse. If they weren't,
might have been.
I know the Panthers were. Weren't they?
I don't know. Yeah.
No, Panthers. Panthers traded up with Chicago. I think Chicago was worse last year. Okay. Panthers traded. That's why they had that huge. I mean, it's one of the worst trades I think in the history of the NFL right now, where the Panthers traded to get the first pick.
Yeah.
To draft Stroud.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Moving to the next game here to recap a little bit.
Sorry, let me backtrack there. That was to draft Bryce Young. Bryce Young. I apologize. Yeah.
Next game we had was the Dolphins and the Chiefs in the Frozen game, which was pretty wild.
Boring.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a very good way to put it.
Just straight up boring. I mean, it was a dud. I'm glad they didn't cancel the game because remember we said there was talk of that. I mean, crazy low temperatures. I mean, heck, they said there's a good amount of people that actually had to be treated for frostbite.
Yeah.
Probably that guy with the shirt off. I mean, I would imagine that probably got frostbite pretty quick. But I want to start this recap with a question for you guys. True or false? The Dolphins have a chance at going to the Super Bowl with Tua as their quarterback.
Trey?
True.
I'm going to say false.
Okay.
Can I give you my basis for my true answer?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Is there are quarterbacks that have made it to the Super Bowl that are not nearly in the same realm as Tua simply because of their defense. If he can get a good defense around him and they keep a weapon or two, and with Mike McDaniels there, Tua absolutely has the skill to take a defense like the Browns or the Ravens to the Super Bowl.
How can you say that about a defense, though? I mean, their defense was phenomenal. They just had a ton of injuries at the end of the year.
Yeah, exactly, and then it turned it not phenomenal. That's
So Trey, if I said Tua will lead Miami to a Super Bowl, would you still say true?
Like he himself. Is that what do you mean?
Like he will lead. He'll be the franchise quarterback to lead. He'll be the leader. I mean, even if your defense.
Wow.
Even if your defense is the reason you're there, you still have to have a quarterback that's a leader there.
So now,
right?
That changes my answer a little bit because you asked, could he? And
I think he could. I should have changed it. I should have said Tua will lead the Miami Dolphins to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, see that makes the question a lot harder.
Okay.
I don't know who's to say that. Yeah, I think there's too many variables to say true in that instance. But
I'm still, and I know. I talked about it at the beginning there, but I don't think he's going to play that long in the NFL. I'm not saying he's going to have some sort of injury or get hurt. I just think from a health perspective, I think he'll step away from the game earlier than some people might because of injury stuff. That's just my opinion. I don't think he'll be around long enough.
Do you think though too, like how harsh? Like I get it. He played like crap, right? You guys would agree?
Yeah.
Played like crap. I mean, he gets torn apart in the media and the critics, in my opinion.
He does.
And it was totally different in college because I feel like in college it was like he was the wonder boy, right? He was the oh my gosh, Tua is the answer. He's a phenom, like, and now in the NFL
and I think that's why though is because he was this wonder boy, high expectation quarterback that's average now in the NFL, and people expect more.
I wouldn't say he's average.
And I think
he led the league in passing yards. He's not average. He's better than average.
Yeah. Well,
all right. Yeah. Who's better though, Trey? Jalen Hurts or Tua?
Wow, that's a tough question.
Really? Okay.
I don't know. I think they're very comparable though.
Okay.
I'm taking Hurts.
Wow.
It's the running threat.
Yeah, but Tua's got such a better throwing threat.
Yeah,
that's what matters for a quarterback is can you make every throw on the field consistently?
I don't know. I mean, it's tough. It was watching him play in the cold was like, I thought it was embarrassing. Like you're gonna, when you're in the playoffs, I know you are, used to that Miami weather. What was it, like 60 some degrees? And then they go and, they land in Kansas City and it's negative 30 wind chill. But like, you have to realize at some point in time in the NFL playoffs, unless you can secure the 1 seed, you are going to have to play a cold weather game. And I don't know. I mean, for as good as they were this year, I think they have one win over a 500 team, which was simply the Dallas Cowboys. Right. And we, how real were they?
Right.
So
I think, looking at the other side of the coin here too, with the Chiefs, I mean, they put up 26 points. 12 of those points were from the field goal kicker. Like Mahomes, he was all right. 23 for 41, 262 and a touchdown with an 83.6 passer rating. But like, I don't know. I know they won, and I know it's the Chiefs in the playoffs. I think, and this getting into this week's stuff, which we'll talk about a little bit later. I don't think they're what they used to be. And now there is some speculation too that there's a potential of Andy Reid possibly retiring.
Jeez. No chance.
Baker news here first.
Oh boy.
No, yeah, but to speak on Andy Reid, I think that game as a whole, he really outcoached Mike McDaniels, and I know the weather was a factor, but I mean the experience that it just kind of shone through in the game in general.
Yeah. Frozen stash.
The Chiefs players are right. Yeah. The Lorax. Right?
Yeah, it's a good call.
No, I just think that you could just tell the experience, the difference in that. Even with this freezing cold weather game, I know the Dolphins aren't used to it, but Andy Reid and the guy, they looked ready. They looked ready to play. They were throwing the ball all over the first drive, which no one expected, I'm sure. Right. So, I think just the prep that Andy Reid had for his guys really just outcoached Mike McDaniels.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's
move. I also think Rashee Rice could emerge as like the guy for the Chiefs.
Yeah, he
the wideout that they're looking for. Well, he looks pretty good.
He does, as long as he continues to catch the ball, because that's their biggest bugaboo there.
Yeah.
All right, moving to the next game here was one of our favorite games. This was the Packers and Cowboys. Packers very dominant with 48-32. I will say on record that I was the only one of us three that picked them to win. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, and I mean we just have the Cowboys number.
Yeah.
I mean, when I bought stake in the Packers and became part owner, I guess I inherited 2 other franchises, the Bears and the Cowboys. So
all right.
No, I'm just kidding. No, in all seriousness, though, the Packers played like a team that had nothing to lose, I thought.
I disagree with that. I feel like they played like a team that actually has been winning all season. They ran the right plays. No. They made the right throws. Jordan Love made the right passes. Like, I don't think...
Tyler, I truly think they were playing free and stress-free because, like, they shouldn't be there. They have no business being in the playoffs.
Well, and
I mean, we've so outperformed our expectations. We're playing with house money at this point.
yeah, no doubt they definitely outperformed. I mean, I think the Alexander possible injury is, a red flag possibly heading into this week. I don't know what his practice looked like. I know he's kind of questionable right now, but I mean that could be an X factor. But I mean, it does take us to the point too, not even just with the Packers. What the hell is with the Cowboys? Like, I mean, they put up 32 points, but let's be honest, that was a lot of dog crap points at the end. Where I think at one point the Packers even pulled their starters, and then they scored, and the Packers were like, oh, well, yep, let's actually get them back in there. But, like,
yeah.
I don't know, man. It's that, the Cowboys and their fans, and this is our year. It's like, no, it's not. And I think the real question, I know, the big question was McDaniel, which Jerry Jones has come out and defended him and said that, hey, we're going to...
McCarthy.
Oh, yeah, sorry, McCarthy. Came out, defended him, and said he's our guy. But I think, listening to Tone Diggs on the Pat McAfee podcast pointed out a couple different things about Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy in the playoffs, 167, 102. He is 11-11. Sorry, not in the playoffs. 167, 102-2 is his record. 11-11 in the playoffs and a Super Bowl. All right, Mike Tomlin, 173, 102, 8-10 in the playoffs, 1 Super Bowl. Sean Payton, 160-98, playoffs, 9-8, 1 Super Bowl. John Harbaugh, 160-99, playoffs, 11-9, 1 Super Bowl. I mean, Mike McCarthy isn't that far off of these guys. And, a lot, he gets a lot of criticism. I mean, mostly because the fact that he's coaching in Dallas, which people consider America's team. But I don't know. I don't think McCarthy's the problem. I think what you saw was playoff Dak again. And I've been saying this for years. He's he's great at doing, things and making, here and there, game to game. But I'll tell you what, if you want a consistent quarterback that's going to, win you playoff games and stay poised, not get shaken, it's not Dak.
Yeah. Tyler, he is Tony Romo 2.0.
Just a perfect comparison.
And it's crazy that they're coming from the same franchise because Tony Romo, he was a great quarterback in the regular season. Like,
tons of records.
Yeah. And same with Dak. I mean, Dak's had great seasons in the NFL, including this year. But when it comes to the postseason, it's just always, like, mishap after mishap. Like, I don't know. You're right. It's crazy to watch Dak have a potential MVP year and then just play a game like that.
And lay an egg, yeah.
And not only that, but CeeDee Lamb looked so uninterested in being there.
Totally agree.
Like, is it something that happened before the game or what? Because I truly didn't understand his demeanor watching him that whole game.
It's a good question.
I don't know if he's frustrated with Dak or what, but that was quite obvious. He was unhappy and didn't want to be in that game.
It's a good thing that the Dallas Cowboys didn't ask Dak Prescott to hold the ball on an extra point or a field goal. You guys remember Tony Romo?
Oh yeah,
Against Seattle.
But, sorry, Cowboys fans, if you're listening. I think
Ryan Hauser, who was at our house for that game. Remember that?
Yeah, I'm not apologizing to Cowboys fans as a Niner guy.
Yeah. I think the guy that stands out the most to me is Matt LaFleur. I think Matt LaFleur called the one of the best games ever.
Yeah.
And I think that is where the Packers season has changed. If you recall early in the year, there was not much trust between LaFleur and Love. Not like there was controversy between the two, but I mean, I even look back, probably the one game that I watched the most was the Packers-Raiders, right? Mm-hmm. That was, our team's playing. And it was just kind of like you could see that there was just so many restrictions, like no risk-taking, nothing downfield at all. And quite frankly, it's kind of scary to see how similar just every, throwing mannerism from his feet to the flick of his wrist between Love and Aaron Rodgers. It is literally, there's times where he's doing exactly what Rodgers used to do, where his feet aren't even on the ground. And he's just, that unique follow through that Rodgers always has. on a ball downfield, putting that little touch on it. So I thought Matt LaFleur just he picked apart a Dallas defense that thrives on turnovers, right? If Dallas forces a turnover, usually they can pile it on. And one, Love didn't turn the ball over, but two, Matt LaFleur called a hell of a game, and they have a trust now, and it's taken the next step. They are. I know their record is what it is, and I know you say they're young. You're young. You're not young anymore. You got a full season under your belt. You got a playoff win on the road, which is a hell. Let's put it. Hey, here, you want to go statistics wise? I know it's a stupid statistic, but Patrick Mahomes hasn't proven he can win a road playoff game yet. So, Jordan Love has one in Dallas against a 15-win streak in Dallas. So, props to them. I'm not sleeping on those Packers, man.
You're also missing an X factor, though, is Jordan Love. Yeah, he played a great game. Aaron Jones was a monster.
Yeah.
Okay, Aaron Jones was an absolute monster, and which was also smart for LaFleur, because guess what Dallas's defensive line and defense really prides himself on? Not stopping the run. All right, they're pass rush specialists. All right, which is just allowing all these gaps and holes for Aaron Jones to just pick his hole and go. I mean, Aaron Jones played a hell of a game.
Nothing like picking your hole, huh? But you're right, Ty. He did. He 3 touchdowns, man. That was, whew.
Yeah.
Hey, Packers poured it on. Heck of a game. I love it. It was so quick. It was over so quick.
Yeah.
21-0 right away. It was like, yep.
Aaron Jones averages the most yards against the Cowboys of any running back in history.
Interesting.
Minimum of 3 games.
Huh. Next game. You guys good with that game?
Yep.
Next game, we'll recap real quick, is the Rams and the Lions. Obviously, a lot of storylines here. Personally, I was pretty happy to see the Lions basically hold them off because they scored early. They scored quick. I think it was the first 3 drives. They had 21 points. It was like 3 75-yard drives, and then 3 points after that. It was like, guys, don't forget you still have to score points. But I mean, the game itself had a total of 9 points in the second half, which is relatively low. It definitely was fast and furious early on, and then it just kind of turned into a slugfest there with a couple of punts and stuff. But yeah, Lions 24-23, definitely cool to see. Like to see Goff get his win against his former team. And I'm also not sure of the health of Stafford and Puka Nacua after some of those hits. For them to actually come back in the game was a little bit questionable.
So, that was what I was going to say, is that Stafford hand/head injury, I feel like that could have impacted a big part of the game.
For sure.
Because the hand injury happened early.
Yeah.
When he ricocheted off a helmet, and I feel like that always happens to Stafford. He gets these crazy hand injuries during games that are important. Has to play through them, but overall, I was thoroughly impressed with the Rams.
Yeah.
I know you hate to hear that, Tyler, with them being in your division, but the Lions are pretty legit, and for them to stay within that game and really battle it out, I said it before, but Sean McVay deserves a lot more credit than what he gets.
Yeah, I think he needs a better defense, but
yeah, and they're getting there. I mean, I think they're poised to bounce back pretty well next year, to be honest with you.
Trent?
I want to bring up the topic of I guess it's the controversial, now that we have the mic'd up conversations. I mean, the hit on Higbee by Joseph.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm an offensive coach, but I'm going to ask you guys, dirtier or clean football play?
Completely clean. What else is he supposed to do? Can't hit him high.
Yeah.
You're taught to hit him low.
Do you risk a 15-yard penalty, or do you unfortunately go low and make a tackle that the NFL wants to see, apparently?
Yeah, that's kind of the tough part is, we get the hits up top have long-term, consequences, but when you're encouraging them to go low like that, that's short-term. Like, these guys are now going to miss a whole season of their career. So I think it's what the NFL asked for. Like, for Stafford to come up and say, yeah, I saw your hit, but you're dirty, like, right to Joseph, like, to say that. It's
in
like,
the game, yeah.
Dude, I'm like, I'm sorry, man. Like, I get, like, don't get me wrong. I respect that you have your buddy's back. It's terrible to see, one of your teammates go down like that, especially because now his next season is threatened too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That just kind of frustrated me because I'm like, what do you want from these defensive backs that have to make a split-second decision when if they're not aggressive and they're caught thinking, then they're beat.
Yeah.
Right? We always say, if you're still thinking about the play, you're already a step and a half, 2 steps slower than your opponent. So it just drives me nuts that there's even like conversation of like, oh, that was a dirty hit. No, it's what you are asking for.
Right.
He doesn't go at his knee, he hits him in his thigh.
Well, and
like that.
Yeah. That's MCDC defended him. And he's asking, like, is that a dirty hit? And he's like, that's how we teach him to tackle. Like, low, hard, and drive through the thigh. Like, just like you said, Trent. Like, what else is he supposed to do? I mean, I don't think
if he goes anywhere near the shoulders or head, he's getting flagged.
Totally.
Because,
even in the stomach.
Well, yeah, that too. But even if you go, like, at the shoulder, your momentum, everything is going to make contact with the player's head. Yeah. It's inevitable. I mean,
go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, and then you get a stupid 15-yard penalty that extends the drive, moves you down the field. I don't know. I'm just frustrated with the refereeing in general, but
you know what I
also
think
the
people
rules
are
of the
failing.
NFL calls this stuff.
Yeah, you know what else people are failing to kind of look at with this hit too? If you watch that hit and you watch his foot, all right, his foot was really stuck in that turf. All right, and it goes back to the grass versus the turf stuff. And nobody's talking about the turf stuff because if you watch it, his front part of his foot was completely stuck in there, did not move at all. That's why he tore his ACL. I mean,
that can happen.
That's why a lot of people.
That can.
I know. I'm not disagreeing with it, but it didn't move.
Hold on, but the grass is more likely to give out and cause like a divot or anything.
Yep.
Trent, let's put it this way: for the Olympics, when they come to LA, they're replacing all of the turf stadiums with grass for the soccer games.
Well, that's because their actual ball moves on it, and it's going to move a total different speed on turf than it is grass. Like that's a total different sport there, Trey.
So
I don't know, Trent.
It is.
All I'm saying is, if they're willing to do that for a 1 year of the Olympics, why not prevent injuries?
I don't think there's. I know there's like the most recent study, but then there's also contradicting studies where the statistics vary too much. I don't think there's a clear cut thing. But the thing is what makes your league all its money is the players, and it does seem like the players want grass. So the league's going to have to, I'm sure Players Association's going to put their foot in the ground. Once again, no pun intended. But and they're gonna. I think they're gonna make that move. You're right, but it's gonna be interesting because how are some of these enormous stadiums going to be able to manage grass? Yeah. It's like I know, like the Raiders and the Cards,
all the billions of dollars the franchise gets. That's how you do it.
True, but it might not be physically possible, is what I'm saying. I know the Raiders and the Cardinals do have that type of. I don't know if any other stadiums, but I know they move their grass outside to get, and then they wheel it like it rolls inside. So those are, even though they're indoor stadiums, they do have real grass. So,
right.
But all right, let's go next games.
Yeah, we got 2 left here. Real quick, we'll rattle them off. We got Steelers, Bills. Bills obviously the winner at 31-17. That also looked like it was going to be a blowout early. They did let the Steelers back in a little bit. I don't know. Josh Allen played a pretty good game.
Yeah, I'm. The game was good. It was kind of tough. 4:30 on a work day. Didn't even get to watch the first half, but I'm kind of glad I didn't. Once again, I thought this game was just boring.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I know I'm not a fan of either team. Just thought it was a boring game. Yeah. I just don't think. I don't know. I mean, I think with all the quarterback injuries this year, Steelers got in, and it was like, oh, like great. I would have much rather have seen like a Richardson-led Colts team in the playoffs this year than that Steelers team. I mean, hell, even look at the Steelers. They didn't have T.J. Watt, so they're now 1-11. But the good news out of that game was I was reassured that I was being refunded on the beer bet since they actually moved it, because my initial cap was based on the snow. Yeah, this is weird.
Oh, we're not refunding the beer bet, dude. That is
Oh,
ridiculous.
I saw
The line didn't change.
If anything, it benefited the Steelers.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm
Moving the
kidding.
game.
I'm kidding. Okay,
Okay,
relax.
good. Oh man, you
Okay,
got me
so put
heated
your
here.
put your bildos down and relax. Okay.
No, but Trent, I am with you on this one. I think that this was debatably the least entertaining game, along with the Chiefs Dolphins. I did have time to watch it. I wasn't working on Monday, and I'll tell you what, I found myself doing other things besides watching the game because it was just so not entertaining.
Yeah.
I know the safety measures for travel, but you tell me that watching a game in a blizzard wouldn't have had probably one of the highest viewership on Sunday.
Oh,
ever.
100%. I would have.
Everybody would have been tuning in just to see how bad the snow is. But
for sure.
And big headline out of that game is, how about them actually keeping Tomlin, saying he's returning?
It wasn't necessarily keeping Tomlin. It was more so he said he's staying.
Right. So if anything, I was not in agreement with you guys saying they would trade Tomlin, but I think this makes it more likely to happen.
Oh, you still think he's not coming back? You think he's getting traded?
No, I think he's saying he's sticking with the Steelers, maybe to help them a little bit, maybe to like get a mutual deal for both the franchise and himself. But at first, I was not on board with it. But hearing that he said I'm returning to next year, that kind of I don't know. I don't understand why.
That's exactly Trey. That's exactly what I said last week. Was that he's going to get his deal with the Steelers, but still get traded.
Trade him,
yeah, because it'll be like a mutual. Hey, we're going to take care of you since we have so much respect for you, type deal. But
go.
I don't know.
Go do your own thing.
Yeah.
All right, Eagles-Bucks.
Eagles-Bucks. Whoo. Anybody see that one coming?
No.
like
I mean,
yes, but no. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I was gonna say I had Bucks plus 3.5. So
dude, it was hard to. It's hard to like picture as big of a downfall as the Eagles had this season.
Yeah.
Like I didn't.
Trey, can I clarify to our listeners how big of a downfall it was?
Yeah, actually.
Right, 10-1. Mm-hmm. Right, 10-1 is what they were at before playing the San Francisco 49ers. And the Eagles were favored to win the NFC East before the season. They were favored to win the NFC conference as a whole before the season, and they lost 6 of 7 to end the season. So that's a pretty big downfall.
Just before we get back on the game, Trent, to kind of add on to that, Eagles went 10-1, Cowboys were 10-3 at one point, Dolphins were 9-3 at one point. All of them are out of the playoffs. Packers were 3-6 at one point. The Bucks were 4-7 at one point, and the Texans were 3-4, and they're all still of the 8 teams remaining.
Yeah,
that's just it's a parity league, man.
I think the Bucks surprised me probably most. I'm pretty sure I think I picked the Bucks to finish last in the NFC, or the NFC.
You sure did,
but yeah. What?
Who said be aware of Baker and the Bucks in that preseason episode, boys?
I'm guessing it was Trent.
Yes, it was him.
Oh, okay.
It was me.
That's a good guess, Tyler.
Yep. I'm just saying, but it was, man. I'm just happy for Baker Mayfield. I know there's a lot of people that dislike him. I'm not really sure why. Maybe because he had a ton of commercials for a while and his play wasn't backing up, the sponsorships. But the guy's got 2 playoff wins.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So good for him. And you know what? Coming in, filling in for the best quarterback of all time, Tom Brady. And I honestly think they look better this year than they did last year.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you know what's interesting too is who said? I think somebody compared it. They're like, people hate Baker Mayfield because he's what Johnny Manziel was supposed to be.
Yeah, and that's honestly who I think of when I see him.
Yeah, it's because he's fiery,
Yeah.
But All right, you guys ready?
Yeah. Before we get into it, can I ask you guys? Are we going coaching carousel right now, like that?
We touched on
carousel. Sorry, that came out wrong.
Carousel.
I literally had a slip of the words. Can I? Okay, I just like these questions to ask you guys to drive some discussion here. Who looks worse on the outside looking in, the Cowboys or the Eagles, for sticking with their coaches? Who looks worse?
So the Eagles are for sure sticking with Sirianni.
Yeah, new play caller sounds like.
I personally, I think it's the Eagles.
Well, I was gonna say who looks worse, or what is worse.
I mean, you could interpret it either. I mean,
because I'll tell you right now.
Explain what you mean by that.
Okay, McCarthy staying looks worse because it's right now it's the sensational news, right? Recency bias. Everyone wants to talk about the Cowboys losing crazily to the Packers.
They also want to talk about the Eagles losing.
Oh, but they aren't talking nearly as much as McCarthy. The Cowboys are one of the most hated teams. It's all over ESPN. People can't believe Jerry Jones is doing it, except for a select few people. But truly, I think it's like Tyler pointed out. I don't think it's that bad of a franchise decision for the Cowboys. When it comes to Sirianni, if they are keeping him and they're just changing a play caller, I think it's going to be worse for the Eagles because he lost that team. And what does Sirianni bring to the table, honestly, besides being that
feisty,
the feisty rah guy that's like he's a Philly dude, blah, blah, blah. But he lost that team, like I said earlier, and I don't think a lot of the players respect him, to be honest, and that's a problem.
Can I bounce off of that, because that was going to be my exact point. Is you brought the point up is that he lost the locker room. That locker room is in shambles. More so, I think, than is even being reported right now. I think there's a lot of guys that are very unhappy. I think there's a lot of weird animosity there with Jalen Hurts and Sirianni and A.J. Brown. And it. I mean, they're even making a big thing about Dallas Goedert, which I don't think that was a big deal on the sideline, talking to Jalen Hurts too. But, if you look at that locker room, okay, and you look at some of the, there hasn't been a ton of things in social media about that recently besides, A.J. Brown took all of his Eagle stuff off, of his Instagram page. He deleted his X account. All right, okay, make of it what you will, speculation. But then I'll look at Jake Ferguson, all right, who, when Jerry Jones came out and defended Mike McCarthy, Jake Ferguson put a post out there on X of Mike McCarthy dancing in the locker room. It shows you that, Mike McCarthy kind of has that team still. He hasn't lost that locker room. The guys still want to play for him.
Yes.
You could take Fletcher Cox's comments into consideration, maybe for Sirianni, get out of my face to the reporter and all that stuff. But I think just that, even that anger that Fletcher Cox showed towards that reporter for asking that question, I think was because the reporter may not have been too far off base. And I think he was almost mad at the fact that, he was right, and it was after the game and everything else, terrible timing of the question. But, who knows? I think McCarthy still has a locker room. I think, to Trey's point, Sirianni does not have that Eagles locker room. And it's going to be, I don't think it's going to get better until something drastic happens.
It's going to fester in Philly.
So you guys are both pretty much saying Eagles looking worse, right, for their franchise? Okay.
I think the Cowboys look worse, but I think it's going to be worse for Philly.
Terry, but don't you think, looking at the Cowboys' history, how long did Mr. 8-8 Jason Garrett continue to keep his job there? This isn't, to me, I'm not super surprised by it. I don't know. I'm just not. But I will make a bold prediction. There's a lot of traction out there with the Eagles and A.J. Brown on his way out. And there's a very good chance they say the team that is looking at him the most are the Houston Texans.
Ooh, I also saw the Titans.
He can't go back.
I saw the Titans.
They can't get him
right
back.
the wrong. That's what I saw. I'm just telling you what I saw.
I saw Texans. Could you imagine Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and A.J. Brown on the same team?
That'd be scary.
Yeah. But he kind of reminds me of, like, Andre Johnson.
Well, don't you even think that this Eagles team, remember when the Eagles built that, like, roster of a super team and then they flopped?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they did this year. That's exactly what they did. I mean, everyone's all over them. Oh, my gosh, look at their draft. Oh, my gosh, they got, what is his name, fired. Oh, my gosh, they got who else? And then they flopped.
I to add on to that, I think the Eagles tried this, Howie and the Eagles tried this experiment of let's become the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah.
And it looked like a great strategy and people were giving them so much praise for it, but it did not pay off.
No.
Keely Ringo, not a good cornerback from Georgia. Nolan Smith that barely plays. Nakobe Dean doesn't provide for the team. Is it Jordan Davis that looks awful?
He's just huge.
Like,
it's almost too big.
He's huge and you can't stop the run with how big he is. It's insane.
And
the only player that looks like anything worth of anything is Jalen Carter, who's a rookie.
Can I also point out one other defender? And to quote Debo Samuel about Bradbury, trash.
Yeah, they let. Yeah, trash. That was. You know what it is, Trey? You can maybe draft all the Georgia players, but what you don't have is you don't have a Kirby Smart up there leading them because that guy knows football. He knows how to motivate those guys.
Dumb. Sorry, that was stupid.
I don't even get it because Kirby Smart's incredible. Like, what do you?
Yeah, that's why I was stupid.
No, and I said the Eagles have a Kirby Dumb.
Oh, I thought you said more like Kirby Dumb. I'm like, what the hell, man? No. That guy is a motivational and X's and O's genius. I'm not a Georgia fan.
Motorboating.
He's a motorboating. No.
All right, let's get into Super Duper Divisional Weekend.
You like that, Trey?
We're sticking with that crap. Oh man.
Oh yeah. Super Duper.
Sounds like Barney over there.
All right, Tyler. Before we get into these games one by one, can I give the statistics on where the money's at right now?
I'd actually prefer not to know where the money's at.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that actually, because I already know
why.
One of them, and it's stupid.
We already have our picks. Come on, guys. It's for the listeners.
Go ahead.
All right, 71% of the money is on the Texans plus 9.5, and these are the spreads first that have significant differences, I should say. 71% are on the Packers plus 10. 67% are on the Lions minus 6, although I think that has now moved up to 6.5. And then as for totals, overs, unders, I mean, 80% of the public money is on Buffalo, Kansas City over 46. 75% of the money is... Yeah, bring it on, snowballs. 75% of the money is on Baltimore, Houston over 45. 69, nice, is on Detroit, Tampa Bay over 48.5. And then 65% is on San Fran versus Green Bay over 50.5. So that is percent of public money and where it's at. So some people live by fading the public. Some people live by, following that public crap. But so in other words, the books love the opposite of what we're saying, right? Trey, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Like you get, for example, the books are going to love, if the Texans do lose by more than 9.5, then the book is making some serious dough.
Yeah, I think, this is kind of hard to understand and explain, but what people should bet on is if a higher percentage of the bets are on a certain team, but a higher percentage of the money are on the opposite of that team, then you bet on the money. You follow the money.
Huh.
So say the Packers, you said the Packers have 71% of the bets on their plus 10. But say the 49ers have 63% of the money placed on them, you should absolutely bet the Niners because that's where the sharp money is at, the professional gamblers.
Gotcha.
Even though the public is on the other side.
Right. Interesting. Do you guys find it
This is a little
interesting?
betting.
No, that's interesting. Do you find it interesting too that a lot of these games are pretty high in terms of total points? You know, looking at this past weekend, I feel like a lot of the regular season it was like low 40s, maybe mid to high 30s, and every single game here this week is what's that?
They're baiting you.
But and that's what I'm saying. Like every single game is over what I think 43.5 is the lowest.
Well, Tyler, when you look at every single team too, you have the actual starting quarterback for that team playing. You know, like during the regular season, you were seeing totals in the mid to low 30s in some cases. That's also because teams were on like their third and fourth quarterback.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying, like I said, I think there's a big difference. In the regular season was very, very low scoring.
Yeah.
And I think last weekend was like, holy shit, you know, people were just going off. But
which blew my mind because of all the weather issues.
That's exactly it. Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I was.
Well, not only that, it's the playoffs. Like you think teams are going to be like
knuckle down,
buckling down, and like I don't know. It's very strange.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's go first game.
All right.
Let's do it.
First game we got here is the Houston Texans, Baltimore Ravens.
So if the Texans are in the playoffs, they are automatically the 4:00 game on Saturdays, right?
Right.
No matter what, Texans 4:00 Saturday, right? So they're gonna move the Super Bowl 4:00 Saturday. All right, deal.
Yeah.
No,
I was actually thinking that exact same thing when
always
looking up the times and dates for these games.
Yeah. All right, sorry, Tyler, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's all right. So I mean, Texans are +9 against the Ravens, who are coming off a bye week, obviously. I'm very interested to see what happens in this game. I think of the Ravens. I don't know. I think of the Ravens a couple years ago when they had the bye and they came back and Lamar tried to do everything. So I think I mentioned before, like it just didn't. They looked really rusty. So I'll be interested to see what kind of preparation, DeMeco Ryans gets the guys to do. And I mean, also it's going to play. It's obviously one of the best defenses that Stroud's going to face all year. Can he stay consistent? Can he protect the ball? Not create, not have turnovers and things of that sort. So, I'm definitely keeping an eye on this because I don't know. I'm not sold on the Ravens. All right, bias aside, I know, but I'm not sold on them.
What's your pick?
The Ravens to win.
To cover?
To win.
Ravens to win. Texans cover 9.5.
Okay.
For sure.
Oh, man. Now Tyler's got me second guessing because Tyler is so wrong on the Ravens all year that I was going to just do basically the opposite of what Tyler says in this game. I mean, listen, I think that the sourness from Tyler is the Ravens made the Niners look pretty, mediocre. Now, I think a rematch with higher stakes. I think it could go a different way. I think the Niners could easily, if it's Niners-Ravens, I do think the Niners will be favored in that game. But I do like the Texans with the points. I could see this game being a true defensive battle, but I think the Ravens are content with playing possession football and kicking field goals and, the field position battle, mainly because their head coach is a former special teams coordinator, right? So,
and he has the best kicker in the league.
Yeah, best kicker in the league. And you know what? I think once again, this could come back to kind of like what we said with the Miami and Chiefs game is experience coaching in the playoffs matters. Yeah. And I don't know. I don't think this is the same Lamar. I know, Ty, you want to put it on Lamar and how rusty he looks. But that's how many years. That's how many years ago that you're talking about them being the 1 seed in the AFC. Because I mean, the Chiefs have locked up the 1 seed almost every year for how many years now. I mean, Mahomes has yet to play a road playoff game, so I'm going Ravens win. But I think 9.5 to me is just so much. It's so much. So Texans plus 9.5 for me.
Okay.
I think the question that everyone's going to ask is which Lamar Jackson is going to show up. Is it the usual postseason Lamar Jackson, who he's been there 4 times and only has 1 win, or is it this Lamar Jackson that's been there throughout the regular season? Honestly, when it comes to my pick, I don't think it matters. I think the Texans are good enough. I think they're going to be prepared enough to cover the +9. But I'm with you guys. I do think the Ravens win the game ultimately. I think that their defense is just too good in all aspects. I mean, Kyle Hamilton as a safety, that he's just a freak of nature, and he's only going to get better as the years go on.
He was a little banged up at the end there.
Yeah, but I think he'll be all right, all things considered. Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen, just 2 very athletic linebackers that can do everything. Yeah. They can do everything. They can cover they can cover any running back. They can make a tackle and hit a gap and smash people. So I just think that's going to overwhelm C.J. Stroud and Texans, but I do think that they keep it close enough to cover the 9.
Okay.
Little fun fact though, all 4 playoff games Lamar's played in, the under has hit.
Huh. That's interesting.
Good fact.
Mm-hmm.
And Dalvin Cook expected to play.
Yeah.
How about
that after they cut Melvin Gordon?
Well, Melvin Gordon's a fumble waiting to happen.
I'd cut Melvin
Goodness gracious. He'll get a ring if they win it all, Ty. Don't worry.
Will he?
Yeah, the Colts gave Edgerrin James a Super Bowl ring, and he wasn't even on the squad.
That's stupid.
That is kind of stupid.
Yeah. You tell me you wouldn't take it, though.
All right, we move into the next game.
Yes, let's do it.
All right.
What's this game? Hey, guys, what's this game?
Don't worry, I'll be tweeting a picture of us out because I did screenshot how we look right now. So, yeah, just be ready.
Todd, just crop me out of that because I don't have a team in it.
So, yeah, the night game on Saturday. You have the 49ers versus the Packers at 8:15. Trent pointed out, would you say the spread's 9.5, 10?
I think it's latest I saw was 9.5.
Yeah, I saw 9.5 too. That's what I'm still seeing.
So it's slowly moving in favor of the Packers and all that money going in on them.
Yep. I mean, I don't know if me and Trey even have to give picks for this. Like, it is what it is. I'm taking Niners. I'm taking them -9.5. So, I think
This might be the one time that I wish we had video up right now because like the tension. I can feel it, and oh my gosh, like Trey's not making eye contact with the camera. Tyler's like looking up, he's not looking at him. Oh, this is nuts.
It's a very interesting game. Like I said, there's been a lot of stuff on social media all week.
What do you mean, Ty?
Well, the ESPN guy from out of Milwaukee, talks about injuring guys on purpose, which is just pathetic.
Purdy, correction. That was specifically Purdy.
I mean, Fred Warner even called him out. He said there's no place in this for anybody in any team. Like, you don't wish injuries upon players. And I totally agree with that. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, and
I've seen a lot of stuff that
one man that's not affiliated with the Packers at all doesn't represent the franchise. So, yeah, I totally agree. You should never try to injure players.
Yeah.
It was stupid. I hope that guy loses his job.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So,
yeah.
Just some things. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of hype right now on the Packers. Jordan Love's the second coming, of the next greatest quarterback for the Packers. After this previous game, he had a great game. Don't get me wrong.
That's rich coming from you, Mr. Brock Purdy. Did you already put your vote for a Hall of Fame in for him yet?
I mean, at least he had a Hall of Fame season, though. I mean, what I'm looking at is that the Packers almost lost to the Bears. Packers almost lost to the Panthers a couple weeks ago. Like, I don't know. I mean, you had a great game against Dallas, who I think was a fraud. most of the season. All right, with a fraud in Dak Prescott. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Packers played really well.
That's the 2 seed in the NFC that you're saying are frauds, huh?
Oh, totally. They shouldn't have been a 2 seed.
Yeah. NFC's pretty weak. You're right. All right.
So you wanna compare seasons and stats. Brock Purdy had 100 more passing yards, the same amount of interceptions. He had 1 less throwing touchdown and 4 less rushing touchdowns.
Okay.
So you want to compare stats? You could argue that Jordan Love actually had the better statistical season than Brock Purdy.
Well, then look at accuracy.
You could say there's a lot
look at the accuracy. Though.
So Brock Purdy 68%, Jordan Love 64%. Is it that drastic? Is it
4%?
Yeah. Well, okay. I'd like to give you a little stat. Brock Purdy has the 3rd most interceptions in the league of starting quarterbacks when he's pressured. Mm-hmm. So when you get him off his rhythm and he isn't able to fulfill,
and that's the social media crap that I've been seeing. No, that's the social media crap that they're all saying.
When you get him off his rhythm and he's not able to fulfill his system duties as a quarterback, then he throws interceptions.
Watch him under pressure. Go ahead and watch the tape of him under pressure, because there's also stuff out there.
I watched him in the Ravens and he threw 4 picks.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And he was a lot of pressure there.
Go ahead. We will see.
Yeah, we will see.
You got to get pressure on him though.
Like I said, we got nothing to lose, so we're playing with house money. You said the spread was going to be 13.5 this week.
Okay.
So all I'm saying is, I mean, rightfully so. We got, like I said, you might think we're hyped and the media favorite. No, I'm not beer betting. I'm not doing that.
13.5. Let's do it.
Tyler talks a lot of criticism and wants to bring up a single ESPN reporter's opinion about this game and act like it's personal. So. Okay, well, it's one man. It has no affiliation with the Packers franchise. He's just from the area.
It's just dirty.
No, maybe of that guy. Maybe that guy needs to reevaluate his values. Yeah, but not the Packers.
Okay. We'll see.
All right, so Tyler gave his pick. Tyler, you're on Niners minus 9.5.
Yeah.
I am as well, Trent.
Good.
Trey, would you actually bet that? Like, come on.
No. Well, no, I'm not going to bet on the game, but if I had to
what if I make that my daily recipe?
Well, I still won't bet it.
I'm kidding. I'm joking. I wouldn't do that. Just like Trent and I wouldn't bet the North Carolina Dukes spread.
In all reality, Trent, let's think about it. Like, why wouldn't you bet the Niners minus 9.5 or minus 9, whatever it is?
Because the Packers are the hottest team in football right now.
I think Trey.
You just called him a fluke, Tyler. You just talked crap on him, saying like everyone thinks they're so hot. And Jordan Love had.
No, I said he had a great game. This past game, I said the Dallas Cowboys were frauds.
Okay, well, that's not the tone you're giving off. But go ahead, Trent.
I think it's a little bit like most sports in the sense that typically it's college basketball that they talk about this, but I think it's about peaking at the right time. I really do, and I think Packers snuck in with a 10-7 record overall. They had some bad losses. Were they 9-8? I thought they were 10-7. Sorry. Rough record overall. Took some growing pains early on in the season, but it's once again you have a road playoff game under your belt. Maybe it was against overrated Dallas Cowboys team, but I'm not going to take that away from the Packers. The Packers went into another team's home stadium, Jerry's World, America's team with the playoffs, youngest team, and they won. They didn't just win; they kicked the shit out of them. I mean, that was a good old fashioned ass whooping. So Trey, I honestly think the Packers are going to be able to score some points in this game. That's where I'm leaning. I think they're going to be able to score points, and I think it could be the 9.5 is such a frustrating spread. I love 10. I really love 10, but I'm going Packers 9.5. However, if I'm going to pick my favorite bet right now with some, I think, decent juice or odds, in case you're unfamiliar with juice, I like the Green Bay Packers team total over 17.5 for minus 148. Because I do believe whether maybe it's garbage points or whatnot, depending on where the game's at, but I think points will be scored often in this game. And I think and that's where, Tyler, you might disagree because I know your defense is really strong out there in San Fran. But I think
it's going to come down to the run.
The chess matchup between the originator of Kyle Shanahan and his coaching tree, Matt LaFleur.
Hold on. The
it's going to be
coaching tree is the dad.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Yes, it is. It's that Redskins team.
It's similar, Trey. Don't get me wrong, but I'm still going to sit there and say Kyle Shanahan now he's made those guys, these young guys that are in the league. It wasn't his dad that made LaFleur, McDaniel, and all that. It was Kyle. LaFleur
and Kyle Shanahan are the exact same position as the Washington Redskins.
No.
They have the same influence. LaFleur did not come from Kyle Shanahan. Don't try to get that going. They're the same exact generation of coaches that came out.
I would say it's a little bit under the Shanahan tree, the Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, Mike.
But anyway,
Mike Shanahan.
Hey,
Mike Shanahan.
Listen. Here's the thing: is I do believe that they know what they run. They could probably call each other's plays just by watching the film. But I think the Packers are going to be able to score. Team total: Green Bay 17.5 points. Take it.
Some people might say that he's under him is because he was the quarterback's coach for the Falcons when Shanahan was the offensive coordinator.
He was also the quarterback's coach at the Redskins when Shanahan was there.
Okay, so I'm saying that's why he's under him.
Well, I wouldn't say under him. I don't know.
Real quick, I think it comes down to rushing, stopping the run. I know the Packers have given up one of the most 200-yard games this year from several rushers. So if they can't stop McCaffrey, Niners are going to have to stop Aaron Jones. I think it does come down to the run game.
Tyler, no fear of rust from your end, because when you get teams that get to play a game versus a team that I know the health factor, especially for your team right now, is important with McCaffrey being banged up. You don't think there's the chance of momentum versus rust there?
No, I'm not. I don't know. I'm not too concerned about it. I think
Purdy hasn't taken
Purdy
hasn't taken a snap in 3 weeks against another defense.
The fact that he's also playing one of the top defenses at practice. So, but I think coming into it, they're as healthy as they've been all season. The only person that's literally out this week is Clelin Ferrell, and Hufanga, who's done for the season. But besides that, they're getting everybody back. Juwan's back. All the special teams guys are back. All the linebackers are back. The offensive line's all back. Everybody's back. This is the healthiest they've actually been all season, which is kind of scary to think about in a good way. I don't know. I think it does come down to stopping the run. I think a player to keep an eye on in this game too, to Trent, kind of your total points over bet kind of thing. Keep an eye on George Kittle. His receiving yards are 52.5, minus 125 right now in DraftKings. He only has 3 touchdown catches total in all playoff games that he's played in. So keep an eye on him. Maybe an anytime touchdown thing wouldn't be a bad steal to throw maybe somewhere in a parlay or something. So keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
All right.
All things considered, roster to roster, Niners should wipe the floor with the Packers. If you're going based on other variables other than rosters and health, then it could be a close game. I guess we'll see Saturday. So.
Yes, we will, won't we?
Hey, enjoy it. Enjoy it, okay?
Except the playoff game.
Honestly, Trey, I don't think it's Tyler.
It was a rebuild year.
That's what you got to lose.
Super Bowl or bust.
Well, they're going to be there.
Super Bowl or bust. We weren't even supposed to be here.
Oh, don't use that. But hey, Trey, I would say Tyler's not going to talk smack to you, but I would avoid seeing our nephew Owen for a couple weeks.
No,
he would.
Nope.
I'm kidding.
Nothing to lose. That's literally a loser's comment. We have nothing to lose. We're playing for nothing to lose.
Tyler, you guys are a super team that has 5 1,000-yard people on your roster.
So you're getting
you guys should beat us by 20. You guys should beat us by
Might-
20.
it might
Our
happen.
average
It might
age is
happen.
24 years old.
Excuses, excuses, excuses.
Okay, we'll see. Like I said, I'm happy with our season no matter what. So
Good. I'm glad
you
you
guys
are.
have to win the Super Bowl.
And they will.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Next game, Bucks Lions, Sunday at 3:00. Right now, where it sits, the Buccaneers are plus 6.5, which I did not realize. I don't know. That's seems a little steep. You guys agree with that? After
no,
this previous game,
Lions by 13.
Okay. Wow.
I was gonna say Lions by double digits for sure.
You guys want beer bet it?
Yes.
I'll take minus 6.5. Yeah.
No, the 13.
That's
You
what
just
I
said
got.
13. I was going to take the 13 because
No,
Trey
no,
said
tell you what,
I'm
Trey
taking
said
6.5.
Trey said double digits. You said 13. I said then let's beer bet it.
No,
Okay,
I'm not
then
giving
I'm not-
you
then I'm
four.
not taking
Four. I'm not giving you. Tom, I'm not giving you
Tom,
7
Tom,
points.
You want to double the spread? That's ridiculous.
All right, then give me 10.
No.
No, I'll give you
here,
6.5.
Tyler. Hey, Tyler, I'll give you that if you give me 13.5 Packers.
No, I'm not betting on that game, Trent.
Oh, well,
Ooh.
You talk to your other brother there, buddy.
yeah.
What? Why talk to me?
All right, so you guys are on Lions minus 6.5. I'll take
Yep,
I'll
let's
take
go.
Bucks plus 6.5.
Beer
And
bet it.
I'll take Lions to win.
Sharp.
Yeah, I'll take Lions to win.
Sharp. Let's go. Beer bet it.
No, I told you I'll do it at 10. I'll do it at 10. Because you both said double
You-
digits, and now you won't take it. So, joke's on you.
That's so stupid. Tyler, you sound like Trent.
Oh, wait, Trey, I was sticking up for you, and now you're taking a
Yeah,
jab at me.
but you do this. But you do the same thing.
Yeah, he makes comments, and then he backs out.
Who?
No,
You.
he always tries to get the advantage on the
Me?
line.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys, that you guys owe me like a freaking case of beer.
I don't.
Hey, it ain't my
that's-
fault.
That's not.
You don't anymore because you paid me up with a 12-pack.
I think I owe you 6, Trent.
Yeah, you do.
You
It's
guys,
okay,
you
bro.
guys both owe me 1.
Yeah.
So no, let's
Actually, Trey
talk
owes
about the game,
me
though.
2.
So I have a little fun fact about this game, and it doesn't help my Lions bet necessarily, but would you guys believe that the Bucks have the longest playoff appearance streak in the NFC? Which is 4 years. In those 4 years, they have 6 playoff wins in that stretch. That's only behind one other team, and that's Kansas City.
Huh.
So the Buccaneers, Tyler, you're right. They might be overlooked. 6.5 might seem like a lot. And with their playoff history, it sounds like it. But I just think the Lions got a good thing going right now, to be honest with you.
Well,
So $1,600 for a ticket to go to that game.
What?
wow.
Oh, that's like Super Bowl ticket.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? 30 some year playoff game drought. Guess everybody's trying to be there.
If they get a win this season, it would be the first time since 1957 that they won 2 playoff games in a season.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. To be able to see, I think what makes most sense for the NFL, to be able to watch the Lions, Niners, and then the Ravens, Bills. I think that would be an unbelievable conference championship weekend. I'm just saying, that would draw in the most viewers and money. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm just saying, those are some powerful matchups right there. Because in reality, Lions should be the 2 seed right now.
And that's what I was saying about Dallas. Dallas shouldn't have been the 2 seed.
Yeah. That whole blown.
That's easy to say after the first round of the playoffs. Prior to that, Dallas was hot.
If it wasn't for the call-in lineman guy, they would have been the 2.
They had 16 They had a 16 home game win streak prior to the playoffs. Tyler, Dallas was a good 2 seed.
But Trey, what I'm saying is that if it didn't come down to that official not making that call correctly, the Lions are the 2 seed. That's literally the difference.
Okay, that's a good point, but still, you can't sit there and say talent-wise, the Lions should be.
Not saying
that
talent-wise.
Game, yes, makes them okay.
I'm saying that tiny little X factor. Now again, people are like, it doesn't matter now, but I think that's bullcrap. Like that would have put them at the 2 seed.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
That
so
I agree with.
We're all on board with the Lions.
Yes.
Trey and I have them winning by double digits, but they're definitely covering 6.5.
So Tyler, you're on minus 6.5 or what?
No, Buccaneers plus 6.5.
So we're not all on the Lions.
No, but I think the Lions are going to win.
Winning.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Hold on. So you're both double digit wins, but you still won't beer bet me.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
Wow. Like make that make sense.
Because you're trying to get 4 free points. I'm not cool with that.
Ellie, Trey, he tried for freaking doubling the spread. I'm making a bold statement. I am confident in it, but you think I'm going to go on like DraftKings right now and place a wager for Lions, minus 13? No, I'm going to take them at 6.5. Like
old Trent would.
It's just no. Old Trent would not do that. There's no former Trent would do that.
Trent,
actually, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I actually took the Bucks in a parlay. I took the Bucks minus 1.5. Or sorry, Bucks plus 1.5 for positive money. So I did kind of do that, but it wasn't that big of a difference. So, all right, let's go. This is probably the.
You meant the Lions plus 1.5.
No. Bucks plus 3 plus 3.5. And I took them for just plus. I took them for less points. So I took an alternative spread. So I actually got them for better value. Does that make sense to you or no?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, it does. It's just weird.
Okay. Yeah, I got it. I got it to
me
boost my
sharp.
odds. Yeah, damn, I'm freaking razor sharp, man.
All right, you guys ready?
Actually, if you guys would have seen my B teaser from last week, I was far from that. Woo. My B teaser got ripped up.
Whoa.
Yeah.
A fissure.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Oh gosh.
That's
Jeez.
pretty graphic.
Okay. All right,
You're such a healthcare professional. Like, what is that?
All right, last game of the Super Duper Super Duper Divisional Weekend.
there you go.
Divisional wild card.
I don't know. I just like saying Super Wild Card.
It was combined it all together.
We got the Chiefs and the Bills Sunday at 6:35 in Buffalo.
Man, this is the one, right? This is the one that the NFL was like, oh, thank God, and we get to have Tony Romo call it, right?
Yep.
I'll tell you what. I got a couple statistics here for you before we go into our picks.
Oh, I got a few too, Trent. So let's hear yours.
Do any of them relate to Hockey League?
No, I don't. So you share those.
That's gonna piss me off.
Yeah, I'll pull that up. Don't worry.
There he is. There's that.
No, I'm so tired of the refs. I'm telling you right now, I'm hating Patrick Mahomes more and more as the years go on.
Oh yeah,
and
he's whiny.
I know people talk about he's Tom Brady 2.0 when it comes to whining about penalties. And I'll tell you what, I like Tom Brady now, but back then he was a whiny little B word that they made rules for and they protected. And Patrick Mahomes is getting the same treatment, and I hate it.
Yep.
He gets pushed over at the end of a play. It's a roughing the passer, no matter what it is.
Yep.
He looks at the refs after every single play if he gets breathed on, just like Tom Brady did, and I hate it. And I know he's the poster boy of the NFL. And they probably make more money when he's involved or whatever. And now they can flaunt Taylor Swift. I'm sorry for bringing her up.
Can't believe you said it.
Who?
That's my bad, Tyler.
It's all right. I forgive you.
Trent's got a big grin on his face, but I apologize.
So
what?
No,
guys, you guys act like I'm all like, oh my gosh, like I'm not even a fan.
You saying that there's a referee action in this game, Tyler, makes me very upset.
Well,
there is.
Here,
They're huge. If Tyler, I hope you Ty, go ahead and share that before I share my
All right,
stats.
in the 4 games that Sean Hockley has reffed against Josh Allen's Bills, they has called 40 penalties for 347 yards.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's bad.
That's how many games? 4 games. 4 games.
For 370?
No, 347. 40 penalties in 4 games for 347 yards. So just keep that little statistic in your back pocket there when
Tyler,
things get out of hand.
send me that because I'm gonna tweet that. I'm gonna tweet that out on a personal account.
Okay.
Because I also tweeted this weekend watching the Dolphins game how I'm becoming a hater of Patrick Mahomes the more and more I watch him.
Agreed.
You also have, okay.
All right, ready?
Home teams are sub 500 last 5 years with Hockley as a referee. Unders are 45 and 34 with Hockley as a referee. Kansas City has been more successful than Buffalo has with him as a referee. So, just some things to. No, I know. I'd like to give a quick shout out to an X account here. It's at NFL Ref Stats 1. So
God bless them.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Do they list all their personal information?
No, that's what we're doing next year.
Home address, how many children they have, what daycare they go to. Like,
this is his other job, and this is his boss's email.
Tyler's like ready to give their license plate number and what they drive to work every day. That one episode, it's like, okay, Ty, we're literally doxing the NFL referees. But you know what? After this year, I think they deserve it. But
Trent, let's hear your stats because I have some stats to share too.
So my stats are all centered around the quarterback matchup. They're 3-3 versus each other overall. Mahomes 2-0 versus Allen in the playoffs. They're past all 6 matchups that they've been score-wise. Just give you a little insight here. The games that the Chiefs have won. Chiefs have won 26-17. They've won 38-24. It was that legendary, however many seconds left. Like, what the hell are you thinking, Buffalo? That was 42-36 in overtime. And then you've got the ones that the Bills have won. They won a big one at 38-20. At one point, they won 20-17. And then I think the controversial one this year was 24-20. I think so. I think that was the controversial one. It might have been the 2017 one. I'm not sure.
You talking about the offensive offsides?
Yeah, the offensive offsides one.
Tony.
Yeah.
Wasn't
that
controversial?
So 3-3. Mahomes though has the playoff edge, but then again, I feel like all the money's going to be, and I think I read that correctly. You know what? I didn't read that. But the money is coming in pretty heavy public-wise on the Chiefs. To get Mahomes as a dog, people are gonna take that. So, but it's first true road game in the playoffs.
Yep. Yeah. So I was gonna say that, Trent. You touched on it earlier. It's Mahomes' first true playing at a different stadium during a playoff game of the opposite team. The Super Bowl, I'm not counting the Super Bowl. I mean, that's a neutral site for me. But yeah, out of his 16 previous playoff games, this is his first away game, which is very impressive for a quarterback. But the stats that I wanted to touch on are, first one is that the Bills, since 1970, have the best home playoff record of any team in the NFL at 14-2. Okay, so that's not a fluke. 14-2 is above the law of averages in my eyes. The other thing I want to point out is that Mahomes and Allen have played each other. To be honest, I think this matchup has become the Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Colts, Patriots matchup of the AFC. I mean, it is so comparable. It's what people want to see because it's the 2 best quarterbacks, I think, in that conference or that side of the conference. And I mean, it's really living up to that hype because Mahomes has his number in the playoffs for sure. Mm-hmm. It's almost like Allen's Manning and Mahomes is Brady. And we just talked about the comparison of penalties and whining they are. So it's just fitting. But the one statistic I want to touch on is Mahomes and Allen have played each other 6 times. 5 of them have been at Kansas City. So
5 of the 6.
They've played one game in Buffalo. Okay. And it was in 2020 during the COVID season when Buffalo was not allowed to have fans in the stands.
Huh. That's pretty wild.
So this could be a rude awakening for Patrick Mahomes, to be honest with you.
His interview, too, he tried to sound confident, but you could tell he was a little, their fans are good. It's a great atmosphere. It's a great atmosphere. He kept saying that.
Right. So the weather's not going to be a factor at all. They both play in freezing cold temperatures. Buffalo and Kansas City know what to do. They can both game plan for it. No one has an advantage there. I truly think the advantage is going to come with the crowd and Patrick Mahomes' first road playoff game, never being in a Buffalo crowd. That matchup is huge for the NFL. I would like to see what tickets are for that, Trent, to be honest with you. It's got to be over $1,000. So with that being said, I am taking the Bills and the points.
Bills -2 and the win.
Yes.
Minus 2.5?
Sorry, -2.5.
Yeah.
Yep.
Trent?
I actually, with the value that you can get it, I'm going to pass up on the points and the couple extra cents that you could win or dollars you can win. I'm going Bills money line it's like minus 140s. So I don't know. I mean, I think besides the Packers, I think the Bills are one of the hottest teams in the NFL.
I'm staying true to my pick from the beginning of the season. So I will take the Chiefs +2.5 and the Chiefs also to win. So
whoa.
I think Shawnee
Tyler,
Boy Hockley is going to have a little too much to say.
Want a beer bet that, Tyler?
Yeah, Tyler, let's go. Let's go straight up money line.
Chiefs Bills.
You said Chiefs to win. I'm saying Bills to win.
I say Bills to win too.
I'll take it because I feel like it's a win-win for me because I really want the Chiefs out. So if the Chiefs lose and I owe a beer, like, hey, good riddance. Like, I'll do it.
All right.
Beer bet. All right, look out for the beer bet board. Cheers.
Yeah.
Hey, one other thing that I did share with you guys too. Couple quick facts here. This was at _ML Football. Shared some Hockey League stats too. The Chiefs are 8-2 during the Mahomes era with Hockey League as the referee. 2-0 including the playoffs. So just something else to keep in mind.
I hate that because if there are questionable calls and everything, that's why. That's the reason.
It's ingrained in your mind. Yep. So we'll
see. Guys,
see.
Tyler, your one dog this weekend to win outright is the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So, but across the board, we're pretty much like on all favorites, correct?
We're all the same.
All chalk, baby.
Yep.
All right.
We're all the same. So I'll put the beer bet out there. What did we say? Straight up money line?
Yep.
Okay. Not gonna give me like 2.5 or 1.5.
Nope. You said money line.
All right. Pussy.
All right. Oh, jeez.
Just kidding. Sorry.
So vicious. Jeez.
I was like, meow.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, anything else? Good.
Nope, Tyler. If the other stipulation is Bills win, we get to throw a big old dildo at your face.
No, we're not gonna do that. That only happens.
Come on.
I'm gonna slap you right across the lips with the dildo.
Yeah. Good luck. Sleep with one eye open, Trey.
Why?
Oh.
Don't worry about it.
It's weird.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
He goes, why? Don't worry about it.
Why?
Tyler, I think this is going to be the last that I talk to you before, well, depending on the outcome, probably until like 2 weeks, so.
Well.
Easter.
It was good seeing you, best of luck to you, to be honest. I mean, actually, you don't need luck. You guys got it.
I was going to wish you good luck, so if you don't want to wish me luck, hey, that's fine.
Well, I mean, like, wishing you luck is just stupid. Like,
Now you're starting to sound like those other Packer fans now.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Like David Goliath. Trent, good talking to you. I'll talk to you soon.
Yep, I'll talk to you, tomorrow and the rest of this weekend and everything.
You do realize,
I'll
Trey,
probably-
you still have to tweet me or give me your picks.
I'll text Trent and let you know.
Okay.
No, we do that
I guess
sometimes. Trent, you tell Trent your pick, and he texts me. You text me it. So like, I'll just let Trent know. It's not a big deal. Don't make anything of it.
I got it, guys. I'm used to being the middle guy. It's been my whole life.
You know what is interesting though, real quick, is that Trey and I have a pretty severe hatred for football teams. Me and Trent have a very severe hatred for college basketball teams, with UNC and Duke.
Only when they play though. Like this is awful to admit. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like I don't lose sleep over Carolina losing games, but like even like when they're in a big game, like I because you're my brothers, I cheer for your teams, and I don't like to know that you would be upset. So I end up being like
one that would never cheer for my team. I support his team when they're playing other teams.
Trey, hold on. I will stand up for Trey. Trey cheered for the Niners when you guys were at the Commanders game. I know that for a fact. He would do that mainly for your son. Right, Trey?
I want to see my nephew happy.
I know.
Yeah.
Now I want to see him cry.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding.
He's sicko.
He's sicko. Sleep with one eye open, Trey.
No, but he's a bigger crap talker than any of us here, to be honest.
100%.
I'm not
100%. 100% he is.
Hey, enjoy Super Duper Divisional Weekend, boys.
That's right, baby.
All right. Yes, let's go.
Good luck.
Hey, Tyler. Love you, man, but no buts. I love you. Trent, I'm talking to you, man. All right.
I'll see
See you guys.